They usually don't eat breakfast, but look at them now, having breakfast in 2 days in a row. But before that, this video features Japanese conversation with burned-in English subtitles. Please turn on CC for the English narration. This morning, they visited a famous local cafe, the birthplace of Himeji's famous local specialty, almond toast. It's called Café de Muche.
モーニングサービス。ドリンクにパンと卵とサラダがつきます。各種ドリンクの価格で、パンを A から G から1つ選ぶ。
Of course, they had to order the almond toast.
オムレツを選ぶ。私オムレツにしよう。
ゆで卵かオムレツ、でドリンク、
そうドリンクブレンドかな。
俺もブレンド。
じゃあ決まりかな。
あ、それでこのドリンクの値段でついてくるってこと？
そうみたい。
もうめっちゃ安いじゃん。500円じゃなくて。
すごいね。熱々。昨日の朝ごはんと一緒だね。600円。
もしかして600円にこだわってる
600円にこだわりながら旅したらすごいね。できたら。で
も朝食だから朝食だと600円ぐらい適当な感じがする。
そうだね。安いし、しかもこんなに美味しいものが食べれて、ラッキーみたいな感じでのブランチのモーニングだったらいいじゃん。
なるほどね。
それがなんていうか一つのなんていうかやったって感じになるじゃん。ただ美味しいってだけで、安いっていうのもよくない？いいでしょ？
コーヒー美味しいし。She loves delicious food, and of course, she appreciates a great value. Yesterday's breakfast at the Roadside Station in Kyoto was only 600 yen. If you are curious about that, make sure to check out Ep.2. She really liked the cute illustration on the menu and wanted to show everyone. There are so many mouth-watering dishes to choose from. They also tried Mirakan back in Nagoya, which you can see in Ep.2. ね、かなりいろいろある。これがはい、いただきます。
なんか結構しっとり系、しっとりふわふわしてる。
あ、そう。柔らかいね。うまい。うまい。ほんのり甘くて、甘すぎない。あ、そう。すごくいいね。美味しい。お願いします。コーヒーと合うね。あ、そう。食べたことない。食べたことない感じのドレッシングだね。甘いね。甘めドレッシング。かなり甘いね。びっくりした。優しい味のオムレツ。満足し It was absolutely delicious, and he totally fell in love with this cafe. He's not a morning person at all, but it was worth waking up early for.
姫路城だ。
すごいね。
結構遠くからでも見えたもんね。
はっきり見えた。Himeji Castle sits on top of a small hill. No tall buildings blocking the view. You can admire its beautiful white structure even from far away. すごいね。なんか一段バーンと上に上がってない？
うん、上がってる。
He was truly looking forward to seeing it. The legendary Himeji Castle, also known as the White Heron Castle. Its breathtaking beauty captivates tourists from all around the world. We are getting closer. Finally, here we are. すごい。すごい人だね。
なんか花見みたいな感じ。ピクニック。
In Japan, there is a nice custom of having picnics under the cherry blossoms. They were actually a bit overwhelmed because they didn't expect to come across with such a massive crowd for the cherry blossom party right here at the castle.
花見会場ね。まだこちらは満開じゃないけどね。すごい。なんかすごいね、ここ人がすごいね。
Himeji Castle is the largest and most beautiful wooden castle in Japan. It's actually incredibly rare that a wooden castle built during the Sengoku period still remains intact today. There are only 12 castles in all of Japan where the original castle tower still exists. And Himeji Castle is the only one among them registered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They felt completely satisfied just looking at it from the outside, so they decided not to go inside the castle tower. If the price hasn't gone up from the original 1,000 yen, they might have gone up though. Anyway, since time is ticking, let's try some more of Himeji's delicious local specialties. Now they're in front of Himeji Station. Since it's the weekend, it's incredibly crowded everywhere today. This is Takopi, the local food he has been dying to try. なんかちょっとこれもいいね。
それ後で食べよう。
おい。
駅までが遠い。おばあちゃん家から駅までがね。
The place is packed, and even just lining up to buy a meal ticket from the vending machine is a whole mission. This unique Himeji specialty is perfect crossover between takoyaki and akashiyaki. そうだね。
とりあえずこのロックかけようか。いいそれで。
いいよ。First, you brush on the rich sauce yourself, just like takoyaki. たっぷりめにかける。And then you eat it by dipping it into a hot, savory broth, just like akashiyaki.
はい、じゃあいただきます。
はい。
つけます。とろとろ。
トロトロ。
美味しい。
うまい。
あ、
He always smothers his in plenty of sauce.
足りない。
At first, she preferred keeping her takoyaki and akashiyaki separate, but she quickly fell in love with this style. In the end, she couldn't resist spreading sauce over every single piece too. あ、これは熱いよ。
気をつけてね。こっちではいけない。
うまい。はい、ごちそうさま
ごちそう
でした。
さまでした。
Here, it's a self-service system where you clear your own dishes. It was seriously crowded today, and even though they aren't big fans of crowds, they left with fully satisfied stomachs. お待たせ。何やった？
いろいろ書いてた。
She and her husband are on a grand 25-day journey, and today is the day 4. They have just spent a wonderful half day exploring Himeji. By the way, aren't you a little curious about what kind of trip they are actually on? Believe it or not, they are traveling across Japan while sleeping inside their van. Quite an adventure, isn't it? Or maybe you are not interested? Well, just in case, we have provided timestamps for every single part of the video. You can jump to the topics you might get interested, like van life, dinner, or hunting for local legendary food or hidden cafe. She wants to try all kinds of local foods on this trip, but there is a little problem. She has a pretty small appetite. She often can't finish a full portion by herself. That's why she loves sharing food with her husband, allowing her to taste different local specialties in so many places. But today, she's already a bit tired out from eating. Even so, she still wants more. Can you understand how she feels? Unfortunately, the steamed oysters from outdoor shop, the ones she had been dreaming of, were completely sold out. She really wanted to try, yet her stomach was full, and on top of it all, it was sold out. What a bad timing.
願ってるよ。
But look, this is the very first time they've seen the ocean on this journey. あー、いいね。あそこで牡蠣養殖してるんで、すごいね。You can see lots of oyster farming rafts floating out on the water. In Roadside, where this Michinoeki Mitsu is located, is famous for its oyster farming. This is exactly where she wanted to enjoy those delicious oysters. They decided to step inside a restaurant with a beautiful view of the ocean. Since the staff was perfectly fine with them ordering just a single plate to share, they happily took a seat.
もういいね、プリプリじゃん。プルプルしてる。
Savoring delicious local food is undoubtedly one of the best parts of traveling, isn't it?
うまい。
美味しいね。海を見ながらの蒸し牡蠣最高じゃん。ね。
あ、美味しい。
Because of this, she once again resolved to listen to her stomach and manage her appetite wisely.
どう？
美味しかった。
満足した？
満足です。
はい。
お腹もいっぱいです。はい。ごちそうさまでした。
ありがとう。
私は何も。
She deeply realized that whether they could fully enjoy the rest of their 25-day adventure completely depended on the health of her stomach. That's why it's important to relax. Just like any other day on this road trip, they made sure to stop by a hot spring. She had heard that this Peron Onsen, you can soak in the warm waters while gazing out at the beautiful sea. The view of the sea as it stretches out from the hot spring. It was good to wash away their tiredness from walking all around Himeji. Later, they stopped by a local supermarket. Since she still didn't have much of an appetite, she was hoping to find a small portion of soba noodles. I wonder if they have it, he asked. And well, they did. They have finally reached the roadside station, their cozy rest stop for tonight.
目的地に近づきました。案内を終了します。
She's busy heating up their bento box. First, moving the chicken to the side. Starting with the rice. Oh, and let's grill yesterday's thick fried tofu too.
それどういうの？それどういうの？
ここでいい？
いいよ。
戻すんで。
いいよ。
はい、じゃあ食べよう。いただきます。ありがとう。乾杯します。
これぐらい。
結構いいよ。クーラーボックスの中がさ、完全に納豆に充満しちゃった。
She topped the soba and seaweed with natto to complete the dish.
ほとんどわかんない。
She absolutely loves natto. She says eating it helps her digestion. It's a must for her every single night. Meanwhile, he's toasting his homemade bread. She's completely in love with his bread. Next up is her homemade cake. She always gets a boost in her appetite whenever she drinks alcohol.
ちょっと食べたくなるね。
やめといた方がいい。
いや、ちょっと食べたくなるね。ちょっとあれ。置いといて。1個。ここに。
But through it all, they truly had a wonderful, fun-filled day, didn't they? Both of those cups are actually his coffee. She's drinking plain hot water, as she doesn't usually drink much coffee. And look, she's busy writing in her journal again. It's the morning of day 5, and the skies are beautifully clear. She goes into the shop at the roadside station. She's browsing the shelves to see if there's anything good for tonight's dinner. Oh, Ebi-meshi, he says. They are already planning to eat the real thing right after this, so seeing it here gets them even more excited. He loves exploring local shops just as much as she does. Look, kibidango, he adds. That's a famous sweet from the legendary Okayama folktale.
これなんだろうね。
金柑。
金柑。あんなのある。水車小屋みたいな。
Unlike the bustling crowds yesterday, this roadside station Kayou is nestled in the quiet countryside and feels incredibly peaceful. It was a good spot for them to take a relaxing break.
これ。
本当だ。
Well then, time to head out into town. I wonder what kind of exciting places they will discover today.
はい、ありがとうございました。
目の前に止めようか。そうすればね。
Whenever she tries a local specialty for the first time, she always sticks to the most popular classic style. And here at Ebi-meshi, her perfect choice is the classic, simple Ebi-meshi. She has been looking forward to this moment for so long. Have you ever seen rice this black before? What kind of seasoning do you think it is? Soy sauce? Squid ink? Nope. It's actually a rich savory blend of demi-glace sauce, the fruity sweetness and tang of ketchup, and a complex mix of several secret spices. Meanwhile, he opted for the omelette Ebi-meshi, shrimp rice wrapped in a fluffy omelette.
あれね、味が思ったよりも濃くないね。
They always share their meals. After all, you want to taste every single flavor, right? Plus, it's their perfect way of adjusting the portion sizes. He always wants to eat a little more than the standard portion, while she prefers a little less. In Japan, sharing food and passing plates around is very common, and you will often see partners or family members happily finish each other's leftovers. How about in your country?
ごちそうさまでした。
He had dreamed of visiting this place for a long time. Finally, they have arrived at Kurashiki Bikan Historical Quarter. The townscape is incredibly beautiful, seamlessly blending white-walled storehouses from the Edo period with retro Western-style houses from the Taisho era. Kurashiki originally flourished as a textile town, and today it's world famous for its high-quality denim. Just watching fills you with a calm, nostalgic sense of Japanese charm.
あ、白鳥だ。
The local idol here, a beautiful swan, seems to have a great spirit of hospitality. She swam right up to her, gracefully showing off her elegance from up close. What a great swimmer! This historic district once thrived as a major trading hub during the Edo period. Interestingly, this entire area used to be a shallow bay, but through land reclamation, it transformed into a bustling riverboat business. The very river where cargo boats once bustled back and forth is now gracefully navigated by traditional boats carrying passengers. As expected of such a popular tourist spot, there are plenty of people here. Access is incredibly convenient. Taking the Sanyo main line from JR Okayama station gets you here in about 30 minutes, including a short walk. She decided it was about time to take a little break, so they started heading towards a hidden cafe. It's still a bit further ahead, so they keep on walking. The unique Namako walls decorating the traditional buildings are said to be packed with ancient wisdom for fireproofing and waterproofing. Every single cafe and shops renovated from old merchant house is absolutely lovely. Even the tiled roofs have a certain dignity and beauty. No matter where you turn your camera, it's just picture perfect. This alleyway is much calmer and quieter than the bustling main area, and they definitely prefer this kind of tranquil vibe. I wonder if the cafe they are looking for is further down this narrow path? Honestly, she doesn't know either. Turning off the main street, they wander deeper into a serene space away from all the noise. It must be just up ahead. Word has it that this cafe has an incredibly chill, relaxing atmosphere. Actually, he is the one who tracked down this cafe. While she is usually the master trip planner, he was uncharacteristically determined to research this place beforehand. All because he was absolutely dying to eat his kind of parfait. She looks a bit unsure, glancing around, wondering, is this really the right place? But don't worry, this is definitely the exact cafe he had his heart set on. Look at that! There is a delicate gap in the layer of the parfait. I wonder how on earth he's going to start eating this masterpiece. It seems he firmly believes that bananas are the absolute best fruit to pair with cream-based sweets. Whether it's a parfait or a crepe, he always without fail goes for bananas. On the other hand, she loves choosing seasonal fruits or specialties of the cafe. The seasonal treat she picked features fresh strawberries and kumquats. The delicate, well-balanced toppings are exactly to her taste. Yeah, he's been saying for the longest time that he wanted to indulge in the fancy parfait. It's actually been years since he last had one. He truly appreciates more refined, delicate sweets.
卵白で作ったアイスなんだ。ね、何かなと思って。どっちが好き？どっちが好き？
すごいなんかザクザクしてるのが美味しいねこれね。
By the time they finished chatting happily with the cafe staff, the place had emptied out. A calm, peaceful space. Stepping out of the cafe, she found herself curious about the narrow path ahead. It turned out to be a beautiful shop selling traditional Japanese accessories. The inside had a serene atmosphere, filled with a deep sense of Japanese aesthetic and beauty. She actually enjoys wearing kimonos herself. While she doesn't get to wear them very often, she has a deep love for the culture. This is an obijime, a decorative cord used to secure the kimono sash. And this is called an obidome. It's a delicate decorative piece that you attach to the center of obijime cord, like a piece of jewelry for your kimono. Surrounded by such sophisticated craftsmanship, they felt a deep sense of peace and relaxation wash over them once again. Ah, isn't that the same eaglet we ran into on the way here? He's really laid back, isn't he? Today was definitely a day connected to birds, wasn't it? This hot spring has an incredibly retro, nostalgic vibe, the kind of fascinating atmosphere that instantly draws you in. They were actually allowed to film the bath area. That's incredibly rare, right? On the next episode, they are heading into Hiroshima to eat authentic okonomiyaki. Then visit to Peace Memorial Park, where we will take a heartfelt moment to pray for peace. The following day, they will journey to Shimonoseki, where a sea of fresh, delicious sushi is waiting for you at the famous Karato Market. But all of that is coming up next time. This episode 2 only covers day 4 and a part of day 5, which is just a tiny fraction of their grand adventure. Remember, this is a massive 25-day journey filled with so many beautiful places and unique local specialties. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a single moment of the road trip. See you on the next one!